So, welcome to the call, and thank you so much for making it on. And I thought it would just be really great today to just get a grasp of kind of how you guys are doing. Obviously, as newer coaches, it can be completely overwhelming. I know Laura Davies over here has been in the team before. She's done coaching before, so she is kind of accustomed to it a bit. But I know certainly if you haven't done it before, it can be a bit of a baptism of fire. It can be like hard to figure out kind of where to start. Like you know, it's like any kind of new job, you're trying to figure out like kind of which way is up and everything else. But I just you've all hopefully now, I think everybody here will have watched the day one kickoff call, and obviously we've got some coaches here who started last week, or the end of the week before that, and some who started just over the weekend. Some of you guys are at different phases, but today, I really just want to talk about a few things that are going to be relevant to all of you, and just really kind of, this business is really simple and it is as complicated as we decide that we're going to make it. And I just want you guys to know that no matter what your background is, no matter whether you're fit or unfit, if you follow the kind of guidelines for seeing success, I can promise you, you will hit Success Club. Maybe not this month, obviously, because we're just a few days away. Some of you guys may well do. But it is really about, those things that I spoke about in that kickoff call, just making sure that you, and if you watched the team call yesterday, if you've watched the recording, hopefully you'll know, but it really is fundamentally, if you can start your journey by just going all in on your own journey and just call yourself out and say, am I doing the workouts to the best of my ability every single day? And you guys can write any of this down as I go along, if it's helpful for you to remember or to come back to. Am I somebody that's showing up on social media that perhaps other people would want to follow, number one? And am I somebody that other people can relate to? I.e., if there was another you out there, would they say, do you know what? I think I can do that too, right? What we do actually, contrary to what it might look like sometimes, is all about making this look simple, okay? And it is simple, particularly for you guys at the moment. That should be quite easy for you because, of course, you're new. A lot of you guys are working full time, or you're stay-at-home mums, as the case may be. And your market is your people, and your people are going to be, if you're a stay-at-home mum, they like to be stay-at-home mums, okay? If they're working full time and they've got no time to keep fit, that's what they're likely to be, okay? So the phrase that your vibe attracts your tribe is absolutely true. And really what you want to be focusing on is your belief in what we do at the very, very core of what we do. And that, of course, is driven by getting your own results, loving, and I mean loving, like you're only going to be successful in this business, hand on heart, I'll tell you, if you genuinely love the workout programs, you love the nutrition programs, and you love the Shakeology, and you love the community, okay? That's why I'm successful. It's not because I'm some like magical unicorn. And I know, my business is full time now, right? I work at my little boys at nursery or school, as the case may be, in September. And I say full time, they're the hours that I work. And so I know people look at me as newer coaches, and you guys can think, well, I could never do that, right? But when I started, I did not start in the way that I am now. Okay. And I want to make that clear to you guys. I want you guys to know that actually you have the best opportunity right now to be super relatable, because you're just your regular day-to-day girls in your own unique capacity. Yeah. Not that you aren't all incredibly special. And that's where you're going to attract your people. So really think about letting people in. And I said this in the day one kickoff call. Are you making it clear in your stories, what is in it for you? What are you getting from it? Why are you loving it? It was actually Charlotte's stories, I think it was yesterday. I absolutely loved it because she, really confidently, and honestly, I was never as confident as Charlotte was when I started, believe it or not. I really, really hated going live to the camera. I would shake, but she just completely authentically, I think it was before or after a workout, just shared like, this is why I'm loving it. This is why it's great for me. This is what it's doing for me. And her people are going to be watching her thinking, well, if Charlotte can do it and she's got all her kids and all the rest of it, then maybe I can do it too, right? That is what you want people to believe. Okay. So yes, it's nice to have a great kind of marketing, really like polished Instagram with all your branding and everything else. And of course, that's the way mine is now, because it's my brand, it's my baby, it's my full-time thing, and I love it. And that's a huge part of it. But you guys don't need to be perfect. And actually, if you are perfect, it's harder for people to relate to you, because they go, okay, cool, I couldn't do that. Okay. So that relatability is something that you always want to have. And I really hope when you guys look at my social media, you see relatability in me, right? Yeah, it's quite polished, but I show how it fits into my life, and I'm quite honest about my own struggles, like losing my mum, and actually leaning into coaching and sharing that, and so that my people can see, do you know what, if she can do that through the grief of losing her mum, then actually maybe I can do it too. Okay. So if you can let people in on your vulnerabilities, which is super, super hard. And as a new coach, I can promise you, like, for a long, long time, I couldn't share anything to do with mum, which is obviously quite unique, but you will all have your own struggles, and you're all likely to have your own reason why you came into coaching. There is something that has brought you here, and it is likely to be a struggle of your own and a reason why you want to help other women. Whether or not you realize that, I suspect you've got a story behind why you want to do this. That is the most powerful piece of your armory when it comes to your social media. Okay. So I would encourage you, and by all means, like, you're more than welcome to run it by me. If you've got a post, and sharing that stuff, I promise you, is terrifying. And you might just say, do you know what, Izzy, I'm not ready to share it yet. Like, I've got a coach with a particular struggle at the moment, and she's amazing, and she's got a story, and she says it's actually too painful for me to share right now, but I will share it in time. So that's also okay. But I think you've just got to be open to that, because that is where you'll find your people, because people will go, wow, I have that struggle too, or I've had that struggle, and this is what it's doing for her, and that's why I need it. Okay. So embrace that journey, as I said, for you. If it's to do with like emotional or mental therapy, in a way, physical exercise for me has always been about stress relief. It's always been about kind of managing my anxiety, and I don't get anxiety anymore, but I used to, and that's because I didn't work out. So for me, you'll see a lot of it is the mindset journey when I share my fitness journey. So really enjoy the journey, get your own results, go all in, call yourself out now. Like, whether you started this week or last week, are you bang on the nutrition? Are you bang on the nutrition? Have you looked at Ultimate Portion Fix? Or if you're not doing Ultimate Portion Fix, are you doing the Beachbody Guide to Nutrition to the T for this program? And the reason why I say that, and I want to be quite honest, I'm not always all in on my nutrition all of the time, right? Because that's not, it's not conducive to a healthy lifestyle, in my opinion. However, as a new coach, literally the reason why I hit Success Club was because I took a before picture. I said to myself, right, if I'm ever going to help anyone with this, I need to know this works. So I'm going all in. I went all in on the nutrition. I think I had 2 glasses of wine in 3 weeks, because I did the 21-day fix. That was it. I think there were possibly like a slice of chocolate cake in there once. And that's how good I was. But the results were like unquestionable. And I can send them to you after this call. Like, I had a 6-pack. I lost 2.5 kilos. I wasn't looking for weight loss. I was eating more than I'd ever eaten, but I was just eating the right proportions of macros. So I was eating more protein, less carbs, and more veg. So I was full. And I just shared what I was doing. As I've just said to you guys, I let people in. I was telling them what it was doing for me. So there can be this kind of common error we make as a new coach. And we're like, this was 25 minutes long, and it's great because it's got cardio and strength training, and it's really fun. And then the same thing that we might do as a new coach is be like, this is the Shakeology, or you don't want to say Shakeology because you want an element of curiosity marketing. But this has got 40 micronutrients in it. So I have it every day. And I do say that regularly in my stories. You'll see me say that. But what you will see is me talking about what it's doing for me. Like, I used to have chronic acne. I used to have a sugar addiction. So again, share what those products are doing for you. You don't need to talk about the product because that's a bit icky, but you do need to share what benefits you're noticing. And personally, like, Charlotte Curry, for example, she's one of my really successful coaches. She's an A&E nurse, and she talks about how it's alleviated her IBS syndrome, and she doesn't bloat anymore, and she can't believe it. And so that's her story. I never had IBS. I never really had bloat. So that's not my story. But she's then relating to girls who are going, oh my goodness, really? Does it stop your IBS? And oh, I'm going to do it, right? So you don't need to pick up on everyone else's reasons why it's working for them. You just need to share what it's doing for you and let people in, okay? And in your grid, just show up every day. Do a post every single day, okay? And I think, again, you know, as coaches become more experienced and as you built traction, you built trust, you know, my upline, for example, she posts 1 in 3 days, and that's fine because she's at a place with her business where she's got a huge following. She has a lot of engagement on her posts and she has a lot of followers. So she doesn't need to post every day because she's built that trust. However, you guys don't have that liberty yet. Okay. And I want to be honest about that. Like, I think, you know, I've possibly missed a post. I could probably count it on 2 hands in the 2 years I've been a coach, right? And this is like, my coach even says to me, like, you can always rely on Izzy. Izzy will always do a post. She's so consistent. And that's why, probably why a lot of you guys have joined me, right? I show up every day. I'm always there. I'm not just there for like 1 month and gone. Like, I'm your girl. I'm going to be there. Yeah. And my style is, yeah, I have quite a lot of stories. It's, you know, because that's what I do. And I like to talk and I like to share what I'm doing. That's just part of my brand. You need 10 stories a day. That is all you need right now. Okay, 10 stories a day. And I want you guys to maybe even put on the checklist, the business activity tracker, which if you're brand new as a coach, you might not have got to that bit yet, but hopefully if you're like a week or 10 days in, you're using that track already as per the champions training. Put in that stories, 10 stories a day, and check yourself off every day. Have I done 10 stories? You don't need to do 50 stories, right? I do 50 stories because it's easy. It's just part of what I do. I don't expect you guys to do the same. If you want to, great. 10 stories a day is all it needs to be, but I would say that's the minimum, okay? Because the algorithm with Instagram is such that if you're showing up regularly throughout the day, it puts your story to the front of the people who are watching your stories. So of course you get more eyes on your stories. So in those 10 stories, just to make it super simple, like the tracker has it on there, but hopefully this breaks it down a little bit more. 2 to 3 clips of your workout, okay? 2 to 3 video talks to the camera. I would say 45 seconds a day minimum. So 3 stories because they're 15 seconds each. Maybe of what the program's doing for you. Maybe it's just you being like, do you know what? I've had a tough day. My son's been super sick, but I got my workout done. Whatever it is, okay? 1 nutrition story, okay? So not just your Shakeology, because if we just post a Shakeology and no nutrition, do you know what people think? They think, oh, that's just a meal replacement, which is absolutely not what we do, right? The Shakeology is a snack and it doesn't substitute getting whole food, which I'm really passionate about because I don't really believe in meal replacements. So make sure you've got your shake up in 1 story. So that's 3 stories for your workouts, about 3 stories for your videos, 1 nutrition story, 1 Shakeology story, and then probably a couple of stories that's just your life, right? Maybe you've taken your kids for a walk in the park, maybe you've baked a cake, I don't know, maybe you've had a glass of wine. Hopefully not in the first few weeks, you're going to have alcohol, hopefully not that regularly, because you really do want to give yourself the opportunity to really, really love and believe in what this does for you. And you're not going to see that unless you go all in with that kind of nutrition piece. So, you know, if there's an interest that you have that is your tribe, i.e. maybe you love shopping, maybe you love going clothes shopping, like I'm quite into fashion, you'll see like often I'll do a post in like just regular clothes because I quite like fashion. You know, whatever it might be, you might like artwork or reading. Try and share maybe a motivational quote or something that adds value for people. Okay, so sharing your nutrition if you're eating healthily is going to add value. So that's going to add value, particularly if you break down the recipe, or maybe you say like it didn't take me very long. If you want to be more elaborate with the stories and do more than 10, great. But hopefully that gives you that structure for your stories. Okay, you've taken a before photo, crucially. And the most fundamental part after all of that, you're doing a post a day. And I would say with the post, people as new coaches often say to me, and do like pop in the comments if you're unsure, like, I don't know what to post. Like, you know, yes, my fitness journey is important. And I always say, like, on a Tuesday, if you've got a transformation, share that, because that's really what's going to build your trust. A transformation Tuesday is fundamental to you hitting Success Club. In those first 3 months, I probably posted a transformation every week, if not every other week. Okay. And that is why I saw success, because my coach Mackenzie said, you have to be proof it works. And remember, people watching you, whether or not they're your warm or your cold market, your warm market, i.e. your friends and family, they trust you, but they still don't trust it works until you can show it works, right? So you better bet that should be kind of pressure on you to get those results. And I'm not saying you need to lose loads of weight, because some of you guys, your goal isn't weight loss, it's toning up. But your body shape is going to change whether or not you lose weight. Like, without question, with every single program I do, my body changes shape again and again and again. And that's why I love these programs, because if I was going to the gym and just doing the gym and doing my nutrition, my body would probably stay around about the same. This is constantly changing up my body with each program I do, because they're devised in different ways by different trainers. So really share that. And, you know, if you've not yet got a transformation, obviously because you're quite new, don't worry, but really use that as your motivation for, do you know what? That person's, you know, I remember when I started doing this, after I was 18 months old, I saw my NCT friends all the time, and we would go around to each other's houses and they'd be like, oh, cake. And I'd be like, oh, you know, that was hard. But I was like, no, this is my business. If this is a business that I want to know works for me, I'm going to have to turn that cake down. Right. And it didn't mean I didn't have snacks. I did, but I just wouldn't have the cakes and the biscuits. So really think about what makes you you. And you hopefully will have seen this in the training. Really think about that. Okay, maybe you love long walks in the country, maybe you're a horse rider, maybe you I don't know, maybe you love to drink all kinds of different teas. Like, that's a bit of an out there one, but that's going to resonate with your tribe, right? So think about that. You know, maybe you just love to be at home with your kids and you love to do things with your kids that's super creative and fun. That's going to resonate with your tribe again. So you want to make sure that in your posts, you're absolutely calling to action what you're doing, i.e., you know, at least twice a week, you're sharing what you're doing. And you, by all means, you can go into any of my posts and repurpose them if there's something that resonates with you and you like the wording. Particularly if I'm talking about, like, there was one last week I did about MBF, and you know why I believe this is the best solution out there compared to anything else. And certainly that post might be quite useful for you. So you definitely want to make sure that in at least 2 to 3 of your 7 posts, they are geared towards what you're doing, particularly in the start. Because the other error we can make is I share this and then coaches go, oh, cool, okay, well, I'll just make this all about me and my interests and everything else. And then what happens is when people look at your grid, so your posts, they actually can't work out what you're doing because it's not clear. You've kind of just avoided the subject completely. And then people don't get it when perhaps you're inviting them, right? Because they're like, okay, cool, I'm looking at her stories and I see she's working out, but from the grid, I don't really see what she's doing. So just make sure that you've got that nice blend through there. And the most fundamental thing to all of this, after kind of checking you've got that and doing that personal audit, and by all means, you can reach out to me and say, Izzy, can you just check my social media for me? Like, what do you think? What do you think? I'm always going to help you guys. I know you're brand new. I know you're kind of, you know, sensing your way, and that, you know, you're not going to get it tomorrow. You know, this is a business. I remember when I started, one of the coaches in the team did a training and she said, I decided that I was going to do this for a year. I wanted to know where I would end up if I just stayed consistent for a year. And when she said that, I thought, do you know what? She's right. Any new business, even if you work in the corporate world or any new job, you're really not going to know if you're any good at it until you've done it for about a year. And I made that decision. And well, lo and behold, a year later, I was basically going all in on the coaching. So I just want to share that because I think sometimes we think, oh, this is great. I can build, you know, a life flexibility on social media and it's all going to be jazzy and it should be super, super easy. Yeah, like the process is easy. But remember, the skill set is going to change and improve and grow as you learn your way. Because I can teach you my ways, but ultimately you're all your own people and your way may well be slightly different to mine. And of course, like even the way you talk to people, you might not even know how to do that yet, right? You're like a baby giraffe learning to walk. Okay, so what you're going to do is write that list. And I shared that in the kickoff call, but that's really like one of the main reasons why I'm doing this call today, because I know as a new coach, when I was told to write a list of 50 to 100 people, I was like, wow, I don't know 50 to 100 people that I can invite. I will tell you categorically now, without question, that your success over the next 3 to 6 months is going to be built on that list. Okay. And I make no bones about it, because I was that girl that almost didn't get over myself and thought, you know what? I'm way too scared to ask my friends and family if they want to do it with me. If I'd have been that girl, I wouldn't be here today. right? Your success in the first few months of your business is going to be built with people that know you, okay? And that's why, again, in the kickoff call, I mentioned Get Over Your Damned Self by Romy Newstad. So if you haven't got that book yet, please, please, please promise me that you'll get it and you'll download it into your Audible app. You don't need to listen for like 30 minutes a day or anything. 5 minutes a day is fine. But the reason why I say that is that, again, if it wasn't for that book in the beginning, kind of explaining to me why I needed to do those things, and actually she has strategies for how to even broach those conversations, I don't think I'd be here, because I would have gone, do you know what, that list is way too scary and I'm way too scared to reach out to all of my friends and family. So download that book, and it's, I'm going to just write it in the chat here so that you guys can write it down. So it's amazing. Get Over Your Damned Self. I still go back to it. In fact, I still construct some of my conversations the way that she advised me to construct them when I started as a new coach. So as a coach, I always say you should be focusing on personal development without question. That for you guys is fundamental. Again, like I'll often ask new coaches, have you done your personal development? Well, I missed a couple of days. Don't you dare miss a couple of days. I promise you, your success is built in your mindset, because 95% of your success is built on your mindset. If you believe you can't do it, or you believe you're too scared, or you believe that people will say no, they will say no, and it won't work for you. And that is all coming from your mindset. So that personal development piece is huge. And I would say that needs to be 15 minutes every day. Even if you're just like, I do it when I'm getting dressed, or if I'm just putting my workout clothes on. It's not something that I actively sit and do, because honestly, I don't want to spend 15 minutes actively listening to personal development. But You're a Badass by Jen Sincero, if you're not listening to it, make sure you are, again, like the 10 stories, have I listened to my personal development for 15 minutes a day? And I know a coach, she's a 10-star diamond coach. She's like top 10 in the network. I'm quite close to her. And she said, I tell my new coaches that if they're going to miss something, I say to them, miss your workout and do your personal development if you're going to miss one or the other. Because your success, particularly with all this scary stuff where you're really pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and you're really coming up against some massive self-limiting beliefs, right? Self-limiting beliefs are what we've been told from childhood. They're learned behaviors. We just believe that maybe it's not possible for us, or it's not going to happen for me because of X, Y. They're all the beliefs that have been sowed in our mind. And if we don't work on that personal development every day, again, I can promise you it's going to be so, so hard to do all these things that you need to do as a new coach. And you're putting yourself out there. That's not normal for most of you guys. It certainly wasn't normal for me. And without personal development, again, I was that girl that was like, I don't need personal development. And that was the reason why I needed it, right? Because actually I just thought I knew better, and I really didn't. It gave me a much more open mind. So 15 minutes on the personal development. But as I said, that book there, I always say, is like professional development. So it's really helping you with your skill set. And I listened to that when I was teaching classes in the gym and in between PTs and dropping Arthur off at nursery a couple of times a week. I would just listen to that for about 5 or 10 minutes a day. And it really helped me when it came to this list, right? And this list is list of people that you know, whether or not actually you think they're going to be interested, right? A lot of the training says, like, write a list of people you think would be interested. Well, actually, you don't know. You know, there could be like Sally over there who's eaten way too much in lockdown. She feels really fat. She knows she's put on loads of weight. She's lacking loads of confidence. She's not showing up on social media at all. You haven't spoken to her for ages. She's watching your stories. And we don't reach out to them because we think, oh, she's the last person that would ever be. But maybe like you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. And this was something a coach shared the other week, actually. She said, when you speak to somebody like a month ago, their whole entire life might have changed in a month, right? So where they said no a month ago, you might ask them again and things may have changed. And I see that all the time. And my success is built in reaching out, right? I just reach out because I know the value of what we have to offer. And actually, I know no matter what anyone's goal is, right? Lose weight, tone up, gain weight, work on my mindset. I know that coaching or just being a customer is going to help them with that. So I will always share it. But what you're going to do is write that list and try to get out of your head, which is so hard, but try and write that list without bias. The best way to do it is to almost put it on autopilot. And I would advise going into your Facebook list. If you're showing your stories in your Facebook, great. Some of you guys might not feel comfortable doing that yet. Certainly as a new coach, I didn't, but hopefully you've got some of your friends following you on Instagram, or if not, you can do a post in your personal Instagram to get them to follow you and sow the seed, and maybe just have a blanket message that you send every single person that you know. Okay, because likely the blanket message is going to be similar, like, hey, we haven't spoken for ages, and I've just started this amazing new journey and I would love to share a bit about what I'm doing, or would you like to come and follow me on my Instagram where I'm going to share more? Or if you've set up your boot camp, so for some of you guys, you're starting to set up your boot camps, which is fundamental to your success, because again, if you've got something to physically invite people into, again, you're going to feel a lot more confident, particularly if you've gone and created that bod group, you've gone into Canva and you've created those little visuals. I know you guys will have seen them on my stories where I share like what the program includes. And certainly if you guys want those visuals from me, just message me even now or after the call, and I'll send them through so that you can make similar ones. Because then when you message them, you've actually got, you can say like, I've been doing this amazing new program. It's called MBF Muscle Burns Fat. I'm absolutely loving it. And I'm actually going to be kicking off a new group with this program on whenever it might be. Do you want me to share any details with you? And that could be to your friends or your family. And certainly if you're seeing your friends or your family in the flesh, like take the opportunity to actually, you know, that hopefully they're going to be asking you how you are. And, you know, they may well even ask you without you kind of broaching them about it. And you can share and you can log on and show them what the platform looks like. You know, that for me as a new coach with my warm market was, it was so easy, because when you log onto that platform, you have a look, it's like, wow, you know, certainly as a new coach, I don't know whether you guys felt the same. I was like, I had no idea there was such a plethora of programs. Like it's insane. And I think the other thing at the moment that I've never seen this before, when they enroll with that MBF pack, your friends or family, or even people you don't know, they're getting the 2 nutrition programs as well, which I know you guys might not know, but it used to be 160 and it would be Beachbody On Demand, Shakeology, and the Beachbody Guide to Nutrition, and Amy as your coach in the communities. Now you get 2 complete nutrition courses. They're essentially nutrition courses. You have all of the videos, and that was like 130 quid in itself. So again, like if you have friends or family who undoubtedly will have struggled with their nutrition through lockdown, that's why what we have to offer right now is so invaluable to people, because a lot of the struggle that people have right now is, yes, it's exercise, but actually it really is nutrition. It really is nutrition. And you can confidently, as long as you've followed it as well, know that actually you can help them with that. And again, that's why following Ultimate Portion Fix, in my opinion, is so fundamental to your success. Because if you follow it and you understand it and you get amazing results, which you will if you follow it, you will literally, you won't be able to help but share it, which is exactly how I was as a new coach. After 2 weeks doing the programs, following Ultimate Portion Fix, doing the Shakeology, doing my workout clips, I felt so incredible that I just basically decided one day, do you know what, Izzy, you have to get over yourself. You have to get over yourself and you have to share this, because what is the damn point of me doing this, me feeling incredible, if then I'm way too scared to even share it? I can't help anyone. So I basically made a decision kind of probably 10 days in that I was just going to get over myself, because actually I was never going to be able to set out to achieve that mission. That my mission, as a lot of yours is when you started, is actually just help women with their health, or help people with their health. And I said to myself, do you know what, Izzy, you're never going to help anyone if you're not going to even share what it's doing for you. You're not even going to passionately share it. If you're passionately loving it, passionately share it. And that's where the mindset work comes in, right? Because the first thing that we do is we go, oh, well, you know, so-and-so is going to think I've gone crazy because I'm like really being really passionate about something that they don't know about. What are they going to think about me? And actually, it doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter. Like, yeah, it's not going to be for everyone, but are you going to live your life being held back by what people think? And I certainly, like now, I don't even care what people think. I'm like, you're my person or you're not. And, you know, as we grow and evolve and we change, as you will on this coaching journey, there are going to be people who don't get it, who don't want to change, and they're going to see your change and they're going to be frightened by it. And so that's going to make them probably back away, probably say not very nice things about you. Because as we grow and we change, some people are ready to join us and some people aren't ready to grow. So just want to share that, because that for me certainly was really difficult. And I pushed through it. And now those people who were like, they're like, wow, like, I can't believe how successful you, wow, it's amazing. You've really found your niche, like my dad. He's like, wow, isn't it amazing that you're doing this coaching? You know, if you'd have just done PT right now, you'd have been pretty stuffed. And I was like, yeah. So sometimes the people who are biggest naysayers become our biggest supporters. And certainly, like for me, my husband wasn't supportive at all. And now he's my greatest supporter. He knows what this has done for our family and what it continues to do for it. So just so you know that, you know, people will sometimes look at me and you won't see that. I don't share that struggle on my social media, quite frankly, because that's really quite private. And I actually don't want to share that about my husband. But just know that those are struggles that you will go through. So really what I want you to do is get pen and paper today or tomorrow and write 50 names down. Okay. If you haven't already done it, and invite every single one of those 50 people tomorrow. Okay, whether or not you've just started. And the reason why I say that is that if you invite these friends and family when you've just started and you just say, hey, I've just started this, you know, new thing, I'm going to be running my own group for this in a couple of weeks' time, because you guys might not have locked down time yet. If I share more details, do you want me to explain how it works? Probably 90% of them are going to say no thanks, no thanks, no thanks, no, I'm not interested, no thanks, no thanks. And I want to prepare you for that, because that's totally normal. It's totally normal with your warm market, and it's totally normal with your cold market. And I think the quicker that I can get you guys to understand that those no's and no, 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 no is the path to yes, and it is not a reflection on you or your ability, the better, right? My goal every day is to get as many no's as I can, because once I've got a no, I can ask them why it's a no. I can try to overcome their objection. I can understand that actually they've said no because they didn't understand or they needed more information. And the reason why a lot of the people right now who are watching you are going to say no is because actually they haven't seen your results. They might have been watching you and they might want to watch you for a bit longer. And that, again, with your warm market and your cold market, is going to be the same story. Okay. When you start inviting your cold market, and I would encourage you to start inviting your cold market as quickly as you can. Like, certainly as a new coach, I was like, do you know what? For me, I feel more comfortable inviting my cold market. Actually, I feel way more comfortable doing that. So for me, that's actually, I was way more willing to get a no from someone I didn't know than from somebody I did know. But I learned the hard way that I should have asked a lot of people I didn't, because then I had people approaching me because I'd been too scared to approach them. Okay, so just want to share that. The thing is that the invite is not you trying to get a yes. Well, it is you trying to get a yes. But the main point of an invite, whether or not it's warm or cold market, and always remember this, like even if you write it on a post-it note and you just remind yourself that actually a no is a path to yes, it's kind of resetting that brain, you have sowed a seed. Okay, you've sown a seed. So a no is a not right now. Okay, you've sown a seed, and particularly with your warm market, what have you done? You've sown a seed, and now what are they going to do? They're going to be like, what's Laura up to? Seeing as we've got most Lauras, what's Laura up to? Right, okay, and then they're going to start watching you. Great, perfect. So they said no, and now you've got their beady eyes on your page, and you've got their beady eyes on your page for maybe the next 2 weeks until you finish MBF. And again, like that's the point where I'm like, oh shit, now I've invited them. Now they're watching me. I better damn well get results for this, because that's going to be embarrassing if I don't get the results. And also, it's an opportunity that's there to be, they're like, your warm market are the easiest people in the world. If you get the results and it's clear you're loving it and you share a transformation, they'll bang down your door to join you, as long as you reconnect with them once you've got your transformation. So that's why this list is so crucial, because the list that you make now, and that's why I encourage you to write 100 names. So I'm going to say minimum 50. Ideally, you're going to do 100. You will have sown 100 seeds. Okay. And those 100 seeds, they might not come to fruition this month, and they might not come to fruition next month, and they might not come to fruition to the month after that. But you have planted 100 seeds that I promise you, you will reap the rewards of for the next 6 months. But if you don't sow the seed now, whilst you're relatable, right? You're really relatable because they look at you and they go, oh, well, she's just started. Well, maybe I can do it. You have missed the most incredible opportunity, because you're at your most relatable right now. I wish that I could turn back the clock and be that new coach starting my journey right now, because I can guarantee if I'd have executed that part of my journey in the way that I'm advising you guys to do it, I would have probably hit Success Club 10 if I'd have just felt the fear and done it anyway and done all of those things. Because actually a lot of my initial part of my journey was wasted because I was too afraid to reach out to those people. and they are going to be what makes your success over the next 3 to 6 months. Okay, so really think about that. And it is the ego. We've just got to get over our ego and our brain saying, oh my God, what's that person going to think about me? Well, that's why we need personal development, if we're going to spend all our time worrying about what people think about us. And I'm not going to say that's easy. Like, that's taken me a lot of work, and you know, I still sometimes worry about what people think. Of course, I'm a human being, but I don't let it stop me these days. So what I'm going to ask you to do is confirm in the chat thread when you've hit your 50 or 100. And I'm really going to ask you guys to be accountable one to the other, because this is what this whole thing is about: teamwork. And if you're accountable to this and one of you does it, and then one of, you know, another one of you, then you're all going to do it, and you're all going to help each other along. And then you're all going to help to celebrate one another when you do hit Success Club, which you will. I promise you, if you follow the format that I've just given you guys, you will. And I've seen real success with my new coaches coming in through the business doing this. So it's not difficult. It's not going to take you a great deal of time to write 50 names down, and it won't take you that long to message them, particularly if you've got kind of a general conversation that maybe you can copy and paste. And obviously some friends and family are going to see in the flesh. You're probably not going to send them a copy and paste message. But you know, I think about my business now, and a lot of the people in it are from my warm market. So that's really fundamental. And then the other thing, you know, some of you guys literally started yesterday, but for those of you guys who have been coaching for sort of a week or 10 days, have you done your call to action visuals? Are you talking about it every day in your stories? Are you building excitement? Do, like, for you guys that are in the MBF group, I think you're all in the MBF group actually, I will always screen record and I always share what we're doing and I tag you guys, okay? And if I share that, or if I don't, maybe you're not in there, do feel free to screen record those groups, because again, whether it's warm or cold market, you're showing them, oh, okay, so she does her workout in the morning and that's the group she's talking about, right? So you're building that full picture for them, which is what I shared yesterday on the team call if you haven't watched it. And really take ownership of that group, whether or not, you know, you've got there on the training yet. Some of you guys are on day one, so this might sound a little bit overwhelming. But I promise you, if you take ownership of your group and you give yourself a start date and you say to yourself, okay, right, now I've got a group, I've got to fill it. I promise you, you'll fill it. And also it's going to give people confidence in your ability, because they're going to be like, oh, she's asked me and now she's got group set up. Oh, that's really cool. And you're going to be more confident in your invite. And I will just say, if you haven't already seen, with Beachbody On Demand, with the new bod groups function, what is incredible for you guys as new coaches, which I never had as a new coach, I had to write every single check-in post myself. I did the check-ins in Canva. That took quite a lot of time. Bod groups, you literally can even go and pick a cover photo. You can pick the program you want to do with your boot campers. And I would advise for you guys that you do the same one again to keep it simple to start with. Like, because I have a generic group where I have loads of girls doing different programs, which as you build will happen in time, because of course not all of your people want to do the same program at the same time. But for all intents and purposes, to keep it simple, which is what this success is going to be all about for you guys, create an MBF group, because you will have done it. And you've got suggested posts. So you've got posts you can schedule in that group without you even having to go into Canva. Canva.com is the website I use to create the visuals. So when you see my stories and things, took a bit of getting used to, but actually it's really fun when you can put your own colors on it and things. And maybe, like, I used to come up with really fun names for my groups, like Suns Out, Buns Out. I think you guys might have seen that one, but like, put a bit of your personality on it. But that shouldn't be overwhelming, because actually setting that bod group up is super easy. Setting the start date is super easy. And then all you need to do is get your 3 people in there, okay? All I want you guys to do in your first 3 months is help 3 people each month with a challenge pack, which is what you guys enrolled with. And that should be easy, so long as you are connecting as per the business activity tracker with about probably 10 new conversations every day, okay? And that doesn't take a great deal of time if you're building connections with people. So has anybody got any questions? That was quite a lot of information, but I really did just want to explain, like, kind of strategically how you're going to do that and what you're going to need to kind of carry that process through. Got any questions? If I stunned you all into silence, probably.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Can you overpost? So like, can you post too much? So like, not like stories, but it's more like, so you could probably post like a workout,
Yeah.
and then just comment on it. But then can you do like another one like around lunch, dinner, or something along those lines, or is that just too much?
You're asking the girl who did 2 posts a day for her first 3 months, so no.
Oh, okay.
I was really like, to begin with, I kind of had it all wrong. In my head, I was like, I just need loads of followers. And if I have loads of followers, then I'll be successful, which is just complete BS. It's just completely not true, right? You want to build your following every day without question, because you want new eyes on your page every day, which is why the tracker, which I do every day, there's nothing special about me. I just do the tracker every day. It's why the tracker says, initiate connections and followers. So you're going to go and find, as I did on the team call yesterday, like accounts. But if you're posting twice a day and you're using different hashtags and you're posting about something not the same, right? I wouldn't advise like a workout post and then, hey, this is my workout. Hey, do you want to join me? Hey, do you want to join me? That would be really weird. But say you've got like a workout and then maybe like it's a mindset piece to do with, this is what coaching is doing for my mindset and this is how I'm feeling, you know, that kind of thing.
Okay.
I would say that's fine. If you've got time to do it and you've got a good photo, go for it. And when I said like it doesn't need to be super polished or anything like that, it really doesn't. But I'll tell you one thing, the photo needs to be bright. Okay, it needs to be bright and it needs to be clear. And the reason for that is that people build a connection through seeing your face. So when people see my face, you'll see like most of my social media posts are me. Hold on one second, I'll answer that in a second. They're building connection with me. And that's something that I learned on a podcast. Andy Lee was talking about how she realized the engagement on her post was higher when it was actually her face and it was bright, because people, that's the nearest form in a photo that we can get to having a conversation, which of course is how we build connection with people, which is why video is so fundamental, because that is the absolute closest someone is going to get to a face-to-face conversation.
Okay.
And I think something like 60% of a conversation is body language, right?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And then also as well, like, you know, when you do like a story, can you, like at first, if you don't want to go live as such, can you do like a pre-recording of it and then just put it up?
Yeah, you could just do a recording in your iPhone. Absolutely. And also remember, if you put a story up, you can delete it like 2 seconds later.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So Laura, you said, could you send over a draft of the invite, please? What, who am I, who, it depends who you're inviting. I don't know which Laura's asking the question.
I think it's just like a generic, how would you?
Generic one, yeah. So let me just share my generic one so that you've got it. At the moment, as I shared on the call yesterday, I'm actually doing an invite, which is an invite to get the sample workout, which for you guys with your warm market is kind of ideal, right? They know you, they've maybe watched you doing the workouts, they get a feel for it, they try before they buy, and then it makes it an easier segue for you to be like, hey, well, do you want more details on the program? You might feel more comfortable that way. So I'll send you that one here. This is when someone's liked, followed, or watching my story, but you can amend it to say like, I just wanted to reach out. I just wanted to reach out. So hold on. I'm going to do one for your warm market so you guys can kind of tailor it to your need. And I would just say like, if this isn't your wording, definitely change it. Then you'll find as you go through this journey that actually you do want to change the wording and you do want to have your own invite, because of course it's you and it's personal, and that's how people are building connections. So definitely like use this, but tailor it to make it your own. So I'm putting, I just wanted to reach out because you might have seen, I have just started a new fitness journey. And I am doing this is clearly my language, so you might want to change it because I'm super enthusiastic and it might not be your jam. Hold on. Send across. So that could be an invite for your warm market. It depends. Like, again, like if it's your warm market and it's maybe your best friend, you're not gonna, like, I wouldn't send my best friend that. I'd probably be like on a call and be like, oh, I'm just doing this program, it's loving it, it's amazing. She might say, oh wow, what is it? And I might be like, oh, it's this. Oh, I've actually got a sample workout, do you want to try it? Or you might just say, my group for this is starting on, I don't know, the 8th of August. Do you want me to get you details on what it entails and the costings? You know, it just depends. Does that make sense? Like, it's quite hard for me to give you like, but certainly for your, you know, that could even work for your cold market, for people that are watching in your cold market, because people love a freebie, right? And right now, that program is the program. I think they've never had such a successful program from launch, so much so that like they're running out of bod ropes. They just did not anticipate the uptake. It has been insane. Which is amazing for you guys, because you're coming into coaching with like possibly the best launch we've ever had. So the other thing that you could say is, let me just make sure you've got like all the tools, because I've made specific ones. Okay, so this is one that I send about the virtual gym. There is a script section in the team page, which is more generic. So it's more generic bootcamp invites and more generic coaching invites. And that's the other thing, guys. You might have people who might make good coaches, who you're already thinking, do you know what, they'd be amazing at this. For goodness sake, if you've got somebody who you think might make an amazing coach, it's super simple. All you're going to do for those guys, if they're friends or family, is just say like, do you want to learn more about like what I've just started doing? And they might say, yeah. All you're going to say is, great, I'm just going to plug you into my coach Izzy's info session. You can just watch the videos. And that, for me as a new coach, I found that easier than inviting people to a boot camp. I was like, I don't even have to say anything. When they say I want more details, I don't even tell them anything. I just say, great, hop in this group and watch these videos. Let me know when you're done. Yeah, so definitely if you've got like, or even like of that list, do a coach list, because probably when you do that task, you're going to think of people you know who would be amazing at coaching. I'm not very good at multitasking here, guys, so I haven't typed very fast. So always, and this is something Romy Newstad says in her book, always say at the end of your invite, whatever you're inviting them to, you'll see the construct of my invites is always the same. If I do X, would you do Y? If I send a sample workout, would you like to try it? If I get you some more details, do you want to take a look? If I send you my video, do you want to take a look? If I get you added to my info session, would you like to learn more? Yeah, that construct on an invite is often going to get you a response. Because it's reciprocity, right? I'm giving you something and you're giving me something back. If I got you some. Guys, you're going to be waiting all night for this invite. So in my invite to my bootcamp, and you could even do this for the sample workout, I talk about it featuring mini weighted jump ropes because it really piques people's interest. And often what I'll put is, I'll put an out at the end, which is like, don't worry if it's not of interest, just let me know. Because sometimes if you're actively like inviting somebody to a full-on boot camp or the full-on coaching, they feel a bit like they're backed into a corner, which people don't like. And I think it's just polite to say, please don't worry if not, I just wanted to ask because I thought you were my kind of girl. Like, so often I'll put, no worries if not, I just wanted to ask, as you seem like my kind of girl. And honestly, like, I genuinely mean that. I don't just invite anyone, because you don't want to have people in your groups who aren't your kind of people. And I've learned that the hard way, right? You want people that you're going to enjoy working out with, or you're going to enjoy doing the coaching with. So sorry, that's the end of that invite, so you can see, and do feel free to like write it down or screenshot it and write it down for later. You can use your camera to take a photo. Does that help?
Yeah.
Good.
So
And you know, sorry.
When posting on your, just going back to what Claudia said, would you just post maybe a picture of yourself, a clearer picture of yourself on your grid after your workout or pre-workout, and then would you then ask them to go to your stories to watch you?
Yeah, you can do that.
Or would you do it the opposite way, or both?
You could do both. It's a great way to get people, oh, she's talking about her posts. Oh, she's talking about her stories. It's a great way to get one per, because what's great about stories is you can see who's watched them. So then you've got a long list of people, particularly guys, if you see people consistently watching your stories and you haven't reached out to them, they are literally waiting for you to connect with them because they're watching every move. So if you've got people like that and you haven't reached out, the most keen people are often the people watching your stories. But yeah, and I would just say, like, you know, do by all means, like, go and look at my posts and see kind of how I construct things, because I will post about all of the benefits of coaching. So I'm posting about, yeah, what the workouts are doing for me, which is possibly the easiest things for you guys to do right now. But it might be that you're noticing changes in your mindset or your energy levels, or maybe you're loving being part of the community. If you let people in on that, that is super inspiring and super motivating, and it really piques people's interest when we let them in on more than just the workouts. And coming back to this invite, you know, whenever I construct an invite, because I change them for each new program, I literally sit down and I go, okay, what have I got? What have I got in my this? Okay, I've got my workout, 60 complete master training device programs. I've got my nutrition courses. So for MBF, it's 2 nutrition courses. What else have I got? I've got a one-on-one coach. I've got global community. I've got my 30-day supply of superfood. And you might want to, you know, in your invite, it's a bit of a fine balance. You don't want to put too much information in the invite, because then it's word vomit and people go, no thanks, because you've just kind of jumped on them with loads of information and they just go, do you know what, I'm not interested. Your invite really does just want to be piquing interest. You see how I've sort of said, I haven't said all of that. But then when they ask for more information, it's going to give you a lot of confidence, guys, if you've got a list of what is included, because then when they ask for information, it might just be that you voice clip them or that you type out what's included. I'm also going to send you guys in the group now. You've just reminded me. I've got a video that I did with Donna, and it's a Zoom recording of what is a virtual gym, and it basically shares the screen, so it shows Beachbody On Demand, and we explain exactly what they get in that video. So that's quite a useful tool if someone's like, I can't get my, because often people say to me, I can't understand like how it's going to look, like what does it look like? I think some of you guys have probably even seen that video when I've spoken to you. But it really helps people to understand, that's how it looks. And you guys, if you want to go ahead and do a recording like this yourself, and you have the confidence to do it, to create your own resource, so when people ask for more info, you don't need to do it like week 1 or 2. But I certainly did, like as a new coach, I was like, do you know what? I'm going to do my own video. And I just pushed myself out of my comfort zone. And I can promise you, the more that you push yourself out of your comfort zone right now, the quicker you're going to see success, because all you need to do is constantly challenge your comfort zone, which is hard, which is where the PD comes in. You could even do a post, Laura, on like, you could do a post on what personal development is doing for you. Like, I've never come across it before, and I've just started this in my coaching journey, and I'm loving it. If you are loving it, you know, you'll see me often do a quotes and my mindset on things often comes from my personal development. So a lot of the construct of my posts will come from personal development. Is that helpful?
Yeah, thank you.
But you guys, like, without question, you can do this. It's 3 people. And remember, like, if you've got a list of 50 to 100 people, that should be easy. It should be really easy, as long as you're asking all of those people. Yeah. Any other questions? I don't want to keep you guys all night. Hopefully that's really helped you guys just get a bit of clarity on, okay, that's what I should be doing. The other final thing with the posts, I don't think I've told this group, 28 hashtags for every post, okay? And you might want to, again, sit down and think about what hashtags reflect me. What hashtags would I go and search? what are my kind of hashtags, and feel free to go into my post and look at the hashtags I use. You can use any that are relevant to you. I do a lot on like mummy boss, female entrepreneur, mumpreneur, fitness mum, that kind of stuff. But again, like it might be like I put corporate girl, career girl, because that's my jam, right? I attract mummies, but I also attract career women because that's where I came from. So just really think about that, because again, people search hashtags, okay, and the engagement on your post will be driven by you finding your people with your hashtags. Hopefully you guys feel a bit more confident about the whole process now. That's my hope. Cool. Does anyone have any other questions? No? Okay, cool. We'll do the obligatory boomerang. Right. And I don't know if you guys have seen the thing about Team Cup, but if you guys want to do Team Cup, which you literally go into Coach Office onto the Beachbody FAQ, it's a team, there needs to be 5 of you that are in a competition together. In fact, there's 5 of you here, which is amazing. And you all group together and you maybe do like a weekly call once a week, and you all club together to kind of try and have your best month. Of course, it's your first month, but you do it as a team, which might be really fun for you guys. So if you're interested, like I would say my success as a new coach was absolutely built on me reaching out to other people in the team, being like, hey, do you want to run together on this goal? Like, you know, should we go for Success Club together? You know, going for a goal as a team is so much part and parcel of this community thing. So yeah, definitely like message in the chat thread, but I would say like your success will absolutely be built on doing things like that. I literally was in an American team, well I still am, and all of the calls were in the middle of the night, and I had to be that person that reached out to other people, and that really served me long term. Okay, I'm just going to do the boomerang. I've got an echo on here somewhere. Right. Hold on. Right, okay, well, either wave or, you know, do whatever you want. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. All right, guys. And honestly,